Do you ever feel like you're doing everything right? You're doing all the things, but you're still not in your soft life era? Well, the thing is, it's not always about just your habits or your routines, but sometimes there are old beliefs that are still playing in the back of your mind that are secretly sabotaging you from living the life that you really want. And they might be blocking your blessings and keeping you stuck in survival mode. And today, I'm going to talk about how to identify those beliefs, how to start reprogramming them, and how to start making more progress towards living a softer life with more ease. Hey there, I'm Kathleen, and I help women navigate life and career transitions with more ease and less chaos. And this video is the third in a series that I'm calling The 8 Keys to a Soft Life. Now, in previous videos, we've already talked about creating safety in your body and letting go of what no longer serves you, whether that's old identities, old mindsets, or even some people. But after you've let go of the old, you'll need to rewire your mind so that your new beliefs match the life that you actually want, so that they match your true desires. Otherwise, your old limiting beliefs will pull you back into a life of stress and unnecessary chaos, even though that's not what you want. So let's talk about it. Now, you may or may not know that for every negative limiting belief, you have to override it with a lot more positive beliefs. In fact, I've heard that for every one negative belief, you need up to 20 positive new beliefs to replace it. Think about it. Up to 20 times more new beliefs to replace an old limiting belief. And you have to repeat those new beliefs consistently because our brains, they like comfort. And so new beliefs feel dangerous to our brains, believe it or not. But what you repeat is what becomes true. What a lot of people don't know is that our brains don't always know the difference between what's real and what's perceived, what's real danger and what's perceived danger. So it's constantly scanning for danger, constantly scanning to see, if there are threats around us. And when, we're still on a cycle of believing limiting old beliefs, new beliefs actually feel like a threat to our brains. Here are some of the most common limiting beliefs that I often hear. I have to hustle to be worthy and prove myself. I'm not allowed to rest. Too many people are counting on me. Putting myself first is selfish. So if you're doing all the right things, if you've created safety in your body, if you've already let go of old identities, habits, mindsets, or people that, are just no longer aligned with where you're going, but you still feel heavy or life still feels chaotic and exhausting, brace yourself because it could just be old beliefs that you've outgrown but have not yet replaced. But the good news is that our brains are plastic, they're flexible. So you can absolutely create new pathways, new habits, new beliefs. You can create a new reality, one that's aligned with who you are now and who you're becoming, not the version of you who was holding you back. So now I'm going to show you an exercise that you can start practicing today in order to replace old limiting beliefs with new ones. For this exercise, you're going to want to grab a notebook. Or you can take a piece of paper or pieces of paper and fold them in half, as long as you have your left side and your right side. So on the left side, you'll have old beliefs, and on the right side, you'll have new beliefs. So what you're going to do is you're going to think about those old beliefs and really be honest with yourself about what are some limiting beliefs that you currently have about life, money, business or career, relationships, health, etc. What are some limiting beliefs that you currently have? So some examples are I'm always behind and can't catch up, or I have to struggle to earn more. So you'll write those down on the left side of the page. And then on the right side, this is where you're going to really use your imagination, use your creativity, and think about who you're becoming and how would the person you're becoming, how would she think? How does she move? What does she believe? So an example would be, I'm moving at my own pace. I am worthy of ease and overflow. Give yourself grace if you don't believe them yet. Eventually you will. But really take your time with this and really, allow yourself to think about how do you want to feel? What do you want to believe? And you'll write those down. And then so what you're going to do every day is take some time, as much or as little time as you have or need, take some time and you're going to repeat the new beliefs every single day. You're not even going to look at the old beliefs. You're going to focus on the new beliefs. And that's why it's important to have them, on two separate sides of the page so that you can cover up the old beliefs and just focus on those new beliefs. I know some people also will script or write out the new beliefs over and over again. As long as you're repeating the new beliefs to start rewiring those neural pathways. So you could repeat them out loud, you can write them, you could do both. But as long as you're repeating them every single day, even if you can do multiple times a day, as long as you're repeating them and pay attention to how your body feels as you're saying those new beliefs. Pay attention to, if you say, I am worthy of ease and overflow, pay attention to how you feel. Pay attention to any sensations that might come up. And then eventually you'll see that you might look back at those old beliefs and you won't even recognize the version of you that used to believe those old beliefs. They'll become obsolete. As long as you repeat your new beliefs regularly, and again, grace yourself and give yourself time because this is a practice. It takes practice. Practice makes progress. So grace yourself if it takes a little while for those new beliefs to start feeling real. This exercise is most effective once you feel safe in your body and once you've let go of old identities, habits, and mindsets that no longer align with who you are and who you're becoming. But if you still don't feel safe in your body, then you're going to subconsciously reject the new beliefs. You're going to run into a lot of resistance. And resistance usually tells you something that you kind of have to explore a little bit deeper. So I'm not saying that you can't try this if you know, haven't let go of old identities or, old things that don't serve you anymore. But I do think it is more effective when you feel safe enough in your body to visualize, to create, and you've let go of things that just don't align with who you are becoming anymore. I also wrote a Substack post that goes into a little more detail about creating new beliefs from the new version of you instead of the survival mode version of you. And I even share a little bit more about how I did that myself. So if you want to check that out, I will link that in the description. After leaving corporate, I realized that letting go of old environments, habits, and even some people wasn't enough. I knew I wanted to step into a softer life as an entrepreneur, but I didn't know that there were still some limiting beliefs that I had that were still active. And those limiting beliefs were holding me back. Some of those were, if I take time off, then how will I make money? Or I'm not allowed to make mistakes because in a lot of work environments that I was in, I couldn't make mistakes. Everyone else could, but I couldn't. And then another limiting belief that I had was that I had to overproduce or be overproductive to get the results that I want. And that was because in a previous job, I was doing the work of like 3 to 6 people, and I thought that that's what I had to do in my own business. Not to be confused with like wearing different hats. Like literally, I was doing the work of 3 to 6 people. And so once I realized that those limiting beliefs were pretty much sabotaging the life that I really wanted, a softer life, that's when I started taking the effort to replace them. So I started replacing those old limiting beliefs with new ones, such as rest is a requirement because it is. And rest really shows that I trust God and myself. Another new belief is I'm human, you're human, we're going to make mistakes. And it's not really about the mistake. It's about what did that mistake teach you? What did you learn from it? And moving forward, what are you going to do differently? And then another new belief is that I will serve to the best of my ability. And for me, if I'm overproducing, that's going to burn me out. It's going to drain me. And how can I serve to the best of my ability if I'm drained? So I will serve to the best of my ability, and my best looks different every day. Now, I'm not going to lie, when I first started repeating the new beliefs, it felt weird. It felt like my brain didn't believe that. My brain was like, what are you talking about? But over time, eventually, those new beliefs, that's what I believe now. Even when I like say out loud those old limiting beliefs that I had, I kind of cringe because I'm like, what do you mean you can't take time off? Like, of course you can take time off. Even as a business owner, you can absolutely take time off. What do you mean you can't make mistakes? Of course I can make mistakes. I'm human. I don't need permission to make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes. But that's really the process of letting go of those old beliefs, not even letting them go, rewiring your mind to believe new beliefs that replace those old limiting beliefs. And that's how reprogramming your mind, that's really how it starts to hold. And once I started truly believing the new beliefs, that's when opportunities started presenting themselves. That's when my creativity really started to come back. And my new beliefs were finally supporting the life that I really want, the life that I'm working towards. So I want to encourage you to start writing down your new beliefs. In fact, comment below with one new belief that you are going to start to use to replace an old limiting belief and reprogram your mind. And if you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe because this video, like I said, is the third in a series that I'm calling the 8 Keys to a Soft Life. So you'll want to be subscribed so that you'll know when the other videos drop. And if you have any suggestions for videos or topics you want me to cover, let me know in the comments. I read every one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.